It's Mad Men Sports. We're back in the building. Zach, what's going on, man?
Welcome to the Miserable Show, where we sit here and be miserable.
Where that's probably the toughest Bills loss that I've encountered probably since last January.
Yeah, it's the second worst loss of the year. Easily.
Yeah, and it goes to show that 2020, horrible year.
Honestly, we should have known. January 4th, we should have known.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the 5th. I don't know.
4th. It was Hannah's birthday.
Against Houston, we should have known. We should have known.
Bright spots? Were there any bright spots?
Listen, there's a ton of bright spots. We can't let the ending of this game. Oh, someone told me the nickname for this game already.
There's a nickname?
Hail Murray.
Who the hell told you that?
Dude, I don't know. I hate it.
Tell him to never do that again.
Hail Murray.
That sucks.
You know, and they put up like, he's got 5 game-winning comeback drives in the 4th. And I just sat there thinking like, well, Allen has got a ton too. Like, I don't even know where to go with this one, guys. I mean,
it's just a heartbreaker.
We're less than 3 hours away from watching it. You guys will be watching it the next morning or afternoon. I don't know. Whenever Jake puts it up, you guys will be watching it. And
tomorrow.
You know, it's a big Monday. Hopefully everyone's getting back to work and staying safe out there. It's a tough day. Mondays are going to be awful.
The Bills are still 7-3 going into a bye. So,
yeah.
Not all is lost.
Yeah.
Still at top of the division. Maybe a game and a half.
Listen, let's talk about the division for a second, because the division is going to be interesting coming down the stretch. I think that the Dolphins have won 5 straight. They have 3 more easy games coming up.
Yeah,
they have the Bengals, they
Denver,
have the Broncos, and
Jets.
the Jets. So they have 3 more easy games coming up. They're going to be on an 8-game winning streak. Everyone's going to be on their high horse, but let Mad Men Sports give you a shot of relaxation real quick. Let's talk out the division. Path to the division here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have, what did we say? The Bengals, Broncos, Jets, then the Chiefs, then the Patriots, then the Raiders, then us.
Mm-hmm.
You break all that down for a logical idea, you're probably 10-5 going into that last game against the Bills. Okay. The Bills, they have the Chargers left. They have
the Steelers, the 49ers.
The 49ers
Patriots.
after the Chargers. They have the Steelers. They have the Patriots. They have the Dolphins. And they have one more game, Broncos, in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are your last games. When you break all those down to like logical games, you're probably looking at 11-4 going to that last game. So let's say we're 11-4 and they're 10-5. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at coming into Week 17 right now. In this hypothetical, of course, where everything's perfect. And let's say that the Bills lose to the Dolphins. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who owns those tiebreakers?
Wouldn't the Bills, because assumably we would have beaten the Jets twice, the Patriots twice, and we would have split games with the Dolphins.
Yes. So that's how that works. You would own your tiebreaker for the division.
That's all that matters when it comes to winning the division.
I don't want to sit there Week 17, 10-6 versus 10-6. But
no, definitely not. I want Matt Barkley to play that game.
Yeah, of course. But I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean,
the sky's not falling in a perfect world.
Going into a game 11-4, I mean, there's not too much to complain about. Because, I mean, who do you have left that you're losing to? Maybe the Steelers?
Probably the Steelers. Probably,
49ers. I mean,
you should win the 49ers game.
Jimmy Garoppolo's will probably still be out by then.
Yeah, and then Kittle, they're still hurt. They gave the Saints a good game today, but the 49ers probably a win. Broncos are probably a win. That's 2 more wins. You're at 9. You hopefully beat the Patriots in New England. You're at 10.
Denver already? Did you say that or no?
We'll do it again. We got 49ers. We got Denver. We have the Patriots. That's 3 wins. That's your 10 games.
Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, the Bills have a very opportune bye week right now. I think they're getting healthy. Morse didn't play today.
No, yeah.
But he'll be back. He'll be ready. John Brown, I assume, will be ready.
Mm-hmm. The run game with Mitch Morris and John Feliciano playing right next to each other, a whole different ball field. And we saw that today. We saw the running game kind of struggle. But, I mean, when you have your left guard kind of playing.
I've been saying it for
center
2 years
position.
now. I think you throw the run game out, especially after today.
Yeah, I've always said never run the ball. Throw the ball every single
Absolutely,
every single play.
especially after today, because they got caught in the third quarter trying to run too much. And let me just tell you how to think about the running backs, right? Zach Moss had 1 catch today for -3 yards. Singletary, 1 catch, -5 yards. They're just not assets. And if we're going to be passing as much as we are, we know what we have out of Yeldon. Make him your every down back. The rookies aren't cutting it. The rookies aren't seeing the holes. The worst case scenario is an Alabama. Like, none of these guys went to colleges as elite as Alabama. And then on top of it, he went to the Jaguars. You know what I mean? Like, Yeldon has miles ahead of more experience than these guys, and he doesn't look like a horse. Like, he's never been a workhorse at any of those stops.
No.
Use Yeldon. Feed Yeldon. Come on, man. Feed Yeldon.
So,
what am I talking about?
I would be in full agreement with you if Zach Moss didn't have the game he had last week. Obviously, we're not talking 100-yard rush, but we saw a flash out of him that we did not see through the first, 7 games. But I see what you're saying. I see that we're not getting anything running the ball.
You can't be matchup-based running backs, though. You got to go, where am I getting my production down in and down out?
Well, obviously,
you got to
it's
trust
passing.
TJ Yeldon there. You got to get TJ Yeldon in there.
Well, I think Devin Singletary, I think he had, 2 drops today? He's an asset. He does really good.
He's not figuring it out this year, and it's not his fault. There's sophomore slumps for a reason.
I
You'll figure it out.
disagree in the passing game. I think he's doing quite well in the pass game.
1 catch, -5 yards.
In this game, sure. People have bad games.
This is a game.
What? So are you saying are you in the camp of you have to cut Corey Bojorquez?
No.
He had a bad game.
No, but
so we cut him?
There's not a dime a dozen punters. I sat here for 3 years and said running backs are a dime a dozen. I'm not going to hitch my wagon to a guy just because I drafted him. They are a dime a dozen.
I'm not saying giving him a record-breaking contract, but I'm saying cut a guy some slack.
I will. I'll cut him by. I'll get plenty of slack on the bench. There's so much slack on the bench.
Dude, the Bills lost 1 game. We're still 7-3.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a down game. I'm saying that they lost that game.
Yeah.
The Cardinals didn't win it. For the last play they did. There's no doubt about that. But you're up 23-9. Finish the game. Close the door. You need to use your running game. Their running game is not working.
Yeah, their third quarter slump bit them in the ass again.
Got to figure that out. Listen, the Bills come up hot in the first half.
As always.
And they're not the ones going in halftime saying, hey, we need to adjust to this. I think that they almost need to start game planning for 2 different games. Does that make any sense to you? First half, we're going to do this. We're going to do this very well. And then halftime, they're going to go in their locker room. They're going to adjust for it. And then at halftime, we're going to come out with a completely different game plan. And it's hard to come up with a completely different game plan when it's run pass. It's the NFL, but you know what I mean? Like, when you do the one thing so well, I don't know. And then even John Brown getting hurt, like, it's hard to pinpoint where I felt like I was most frustrated today. I think the punter giving them 3 points and the defense playing as well as they did really bothered me. The Bojorquez play bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
But that happens. The punters are punters.
It's a really shitty time for it to happen.
Especially when the defense got the offense just got stagnant immediately in the third quarter. Fourth quarter even. Like, we get that amazing Poyer interception. And that's the thing.
You don't capitalize.
That play was such an important play, such a big play by Jordan, that it's now going to be an afterthought because of that one play. And that's kind of what I said in the beginning. We shouldn't let one play overshadow this whole game because there was so much that happened for this whole game. We had that Diggs touchdown. Damn, did we have that Diggs touchdown.
The touchdown was very nice.
3 people text me saying, hey, I think that trade worked out. That's a good trade. People are watching the game were literally like, oh, no way. Like, that's a great play. Those are great plays. You know what happened? Bastards made a better play. Like, that's the worst part. In 32 seconds, that's the part that kills me. They did everything right. Yeah, they maintained it. They kept the play in bounds. Damn, Kyler Murray just made a play that you can't quantify on stats. Like, you can't game plan for that.
Cole Beasley one-handed. Cole Beasley had a day.
11
receptions,
109, 1 touchdown.
Averaged 9.9 yards.
Diggs 10, 93 and a touchdown. I mean, the top 2 wide receivers came to play. Even John Brown, what do you have?
6 for 72.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how we should just end the Dawson Knox experiment?
We talk about it every week. That's the fucking problem. Excuse my language, but that's my problem is that we talk about it every week.
It's tough because
when are they gonna come up? You know what I mean? And
we don't have the time to string people along like that. Same with Cody
how
Ford.
many times we have that conversation, dude?
Cody Ford, Dawson Knox.
You seen my tweets? You're a follower. You're a follower. I like.
Let's
that.
talk about some bright spots, please.
No. Let's talk about the Dawson Knox experience. Listen, I think the Dawson Knox experience was hampered today by the COVID. The Tyler Croft, man.
Yeah,
he was just catching a stride with the team. You know, you don't have Tyler Croft. That's your number one tight end right now. You know what I mean? What do you think? What do you think you're supposed to do with the Dawson Knox experience?
I think we just, as a Bills team, we're no longer in a position where we can string people along and have that misproduction. We're looking to win the division. We're looking to make a deep run within the playoffs. We can't just have a tight end or a lineman, for that matter, in Cody Ford and just say, all right, guys, we know you're dropping balls. We know you're missing blocks. You know you're fumbling consistently. But we think we can kind of salvage you. That's not the time for this.
Yeah.
The 2020 Buffalo Bills are 7-3.
Reclamation project should be out the window.
Looking to win the division for the first time since 1995. The Colts have won the AFC East more recently than the Buffalo Bills. That's a problem. Stop trying to string people along. I get it. Injuries happen, all things aside. But you have to bring in better players in the offseason so you don't have these kind of problems. So if you do have an injury to your number one tight end, Tyler Croft is your backup. Stop relying on these really second-string players to be your starters and get that starter. I don't know. That's my opinion.
I think Tyler Croft started to really come into his own.
Yeah, but
the Rams game was a really big one for him. Last week he catches a touchdown, which, we all saw it. Josh went to an easy read of Dawson Knox and threw the harder pass to Tyler Croft because he trusted him more.
Yeah. I
think it was a huge loss today. I think that was a bigger loss than Levi Wallace, Josh Norman, and our buddy Dean Marlowe.
Yeah.
I think not having Croft was bigger than those three.
I agree. I find it funny. However, when they talk about Levi Wallace and Josh Norman, they always consider Josh Norman the starter and like how he's a bigger miss than Levi Wallace is. No. As Bills fans know, Levi Wallace has started all of last year and pretty much all of this year when he's healthy.
He started most of his rookie year. This is his third year. Put some respect on the young man's name.
I know. Speaking of a young man's name, Dane Jackson held his own until he got hurt.
Right? He had a fumble recovery. I was eating supper then.
A pass breakup on
pass break. That was a big pass breakup.
Big pass, third down, I think. And they went
in the goal. His end zone. Mm-hmm. That's a huge.
They went to his and AJ Klein's side heavy,
and they both
in the first half.
They both showed up.
I almost will eat crow on AJ Klein.
We all have to. Everyone has to.
Past two games,
no one was like, "Oh man, AJ Klein's is so great. We just got to give him time."
He led the team in tackles with 10 tackles. Taron Johnson, I think, plays really well when he's not matched up one-on-one with
He had a really good
receiver.
play with Hopkins today.
Yeah.
Trey White played good today. That's damn. And all we're going to sit here and think about for the rest of the year is that one play. And
Trey White plays very well against DeAndre Hopkins. But there's always going to be those plays where he is... he's one of the best wide receivers in this game.
Is still DeAndre Hopkins.
So when he makes a play against Trey White, makes Trey White look a little silly, but you still have to know that he's one of the best wide receivers and would do that, to your point, to any cornerback in the league.
And that's kind of the shitty part about the whole thing is we were missing those three guys, right? And we still had our best three guys on Hopkins for that one play.
You can't stop that.
That's something else. That's a backbreaker.
Also, I want to eat crow about Tyler Bass as well. He had a good day today.
I told you, give the guy some time, man. Kicking is hard.
3 for 3. Long of 58.
58, 55, and 54,
He tied Dan Carpenter for the second longest in team history. 12 points.
Do you know what the longest in team history is?
Steve Christie?
No. I didn't ask for the player.
Oh, no.
You don't know the yardage?
No. 61?
63.
Who was the player, do you know?
Let's call him Tom Floyd. I don't know his name. I could find it for you.
No, that's all
right.
I
don't want to, honestly.
I'm
really heartbroken right now.
Have someone in the comments tell us.
Yeah, please. Mike Antwood.
Yes, Mike Atwood.
That's your job.
Andre Roberts.
Or it's not your job. Just please help.
Andre Roberts, second game in a row where his first kick return got a big chunky yards. Never again do I want to hear someone say, "Yo, we should cut Andre Roberts."
I don't know,
for
but
Duke Williams.
They had 2 kick returns that was at the 10-yard line and the 15-yard line. That's bad starting field position when they're giving you 25 for just sitting in there.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I mean, come on, like too many mental mistakes, too many missed assignments today. That's what kills me. That's what kills me is because Josh did what he needed to do. He threw 2 interceptions, which I hated. I absolutely hated. Which shout out to Bills Mafia for $650,000 in donations. That's incredible. But I hated that he threw those interceptions. You know what I mean? Because in the Gabe Davis one, it was like watching a boxer on slow motion. How telegraphed was that whole thing? He had him wide open, and then he let Drake Kirkpatrick catch up to him and just gave him all the time in the world to undercut him. I mean, oh man, that was like, I mean, as soon as you saw the play happening, you knew it was going to be an interception because he just had him so open.
And even the announcer said he was a half step late. I would say he was 2 or 3 steps late on throwing that ball.
And that's the shitty part is because you know what? At the end of the day, he did his job.
I mean, if we look at it, especially with 2 of our cornerbacks out, elevating a guy off the practice squad. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins obviously had 127 yards, but that was a 50-yard bomb for the last. So holding
43,
him,
but yeah. I mean,
holding him over to 100 yards. I mean,
exactly. They held him in
Christian
check.
Kirk, 27 yards.
Held him in check.
Larry Fitzgerald. Sorry, I was thinking about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Larry Fitzgerald, I have him fucking right here. 2 for 13 yards. But still.
How about that interception, man?
That interception was very nice.
I mean, why were they even challenging it? That was a clear cut, never touched the ground.
For a second, I was like, what the hell just happened there? I'm thinking, like, I don't know. I'm like, it's kind of sleepy. Bad weather. And I'm just like, well, I thought he was down. And I was like, no, obviously. He popped the ball out.
I mean, it was nuts because...
It was a weird play.
Did you know he has more tackles in his career than drops?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I think that counts. I mean, it counts as an interception, but that should count as a drop.
Wow. The wild stat was...
That's actually how I knew it didn't hit the ground because he doesn't drop balls.
The other wild stat was, I think it was the last time that he had a game without a catch was in 2004 against the Buffalo Bills.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that he is second all-time in consecutive games with a catch?
Really?
Yeah.
Who's number 1? You don't know. You probably don't know.
Jerry.
You know?
Jerry Rice. Wow. Yeah. Kills me. I'm so mad about this game. They did everything they needed to do,
it's
man.
tough because
they got the fumble. They got the interception.
Excuse me.
They held them to field goals in the first half.
They're going to be showing this highlight for the next 3 weeks.
Forever. They're going to show that highlight forever. Next year when they're trying to hype up the season, it's going to be anything happens. And Jordan's going to use it as a commercial because there was Adidas gloves and Nike gloves there. But it was, and oh man. And I said this on my Twitter earlier, but like, it's not my point. Like I saw this, Adam Schefter released a screen grab of the play. Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself, what is Micah Hyde doing? We're going up there with a hand? Do a fist, man.
Punch that shit out.
But who am I? I sit in a chair and talk to a microphone to my friends and how
do you think that compares? That catch is going to compare to the infamous Odell Beckham catch. Do you think it's going to hold any water, or do you think it's going to be like?
I think that's the greatest Hail Mary of all time.
So excluding any Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson,
it's better than that because his is just like jump balls, where it's like anyone's game. This was 3 dudes, 3 of the best dudes on one.
Kyler Murray ran out of that pocket, was almost pushed out of bounds.
He was almost tackled. I never wanted to find out who almost tackled him. It's Jerry.
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be a good quarterback. It's weird because...
So was Josh Allen. You know, what do you end up with? 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
And a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, he led the team in rushing yards with 38 as well. It's off the dome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What is?
You're off the dome coverage.
Yeah. I think he had like a 12 or 13 incompletions. That was a really big sticking.
He went
stat.
32 for 49.
17 incompletions is tough. That's a lot of plays left on the field.
Yeah, drops weren't that big of an issue. I don't remember recalling today.
Drops an issue. You know what really bugged me the most out of all the penalties? Which there was that drive where
3 in a row. 4
What
in a
the
row.
hell was going on, guys? What was going on? Are we playing football or what? But the play that bugs me the most with the penalties, and maybe I don't have a very strong handle on the penalty rule book, but I've been in this as long as I possibly ever could have. I guess I just assumed when it was a free play that if you get a penalty on a free play, I'll try to keep my language in check here. My emotions are running high today. But I thought when you get a penalty on a free play, it doesn't matter because the first penalty takes precedent because it's a free play.
Was it holding? I think if it's because what
it was a block in the back,
so that's 15 yards.
They canceled each other out in the real game, but I figured if it's a free play. Yeah, what happens in the game doesn't matter because it all comes back to do you want that to happen or a touchdown? Which I'm going to need to go back to look at that Tuesday morning because I remember watching that play and I can't for the life of me recall watching Dawson Knox, and I hate him, so I hate defending him, blocking him in the back. I think that was not a block in the back. I mean, I'll have to go back and see it, but I don't believe that was a block in the back. You know what? And I'll almost take it back because I think Singletary made a lot of plays. Well, the plays really were made by Josh Allen, but Singletary was there for a lot of the things like
pass blocking, really good pass blocking.
Hey, I got to get rid of. I think they were bad in pass blocking, but I mean,
Devin Singletary.
I think because the play is like the free play. Like, hey, I got to get rid of this. Let me just throw it to him, and then he makes a play. So I'll give him credit for that. But man, this game bothered me in so many different ways, and to the point where I was just like, all right, they scored. I love the catch by Diggs. I love the throw by Allen. You redeemed yourself for all the times I mother effed you earlier. But then the last play happens, and it's like a whole new can of worms again. Like, damn, I'm not feelings today.
Yeah, you're upset. That's okay, though.
I'm just so distressed. I just thought that I'd never feel like how I felt after the Houston game again. But I feel different than the Houston game. The Houston game, I was shook because they should have won that game.
Yeah.
This game, it was, oh, damn, they pulled out an unbelievable game, and then like they stole it, you know what I mean?
It was just so like sad because I thought we had it in the bag. I mean, all right,
34 seconds left.
They're not scoring a touchdown in 34 seconds. I think that's where it becomes the most disappointing. I mean, we're not talking about the half the stuff that we talked about today. If the Bills have won that game,
man, they pulled it out. They scored a great touchdown. I love the Diggs
trade.
I love Allen.
Very different narrative.
And that's what I mean. Like when they scored that touchdown, it opened up a whole can of worms. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad. Everybody feel it worse. That's how I said it. I said it on Twitter. It's not my place.
I'll even go far as to say like those 2 interceptions as well. I mean, whatever. The game came down to that last play. Sure, you want those interceptions back. I'm not saying, hey, throw more interceptions. But when it comes down to the end of this game, it came down to one play. Came down to DeAndre Hopkins making probably one of the wildest catches of all time.
The best catch of his career. Best two-handed catch.
So, I mean, what are you going to do? That's the game of football. I mean, but I look at it.
Sports.
The last couple years, we were getting those shitty kind of like close calls going against us consistently. But now, those things are starting to happen less and less. So we're not getting those fluke things happen where it's like, oh, that's a Bills thing when Drayton Florence were up against the Patriots and he drops a punt return. Was that Drayton Florence or was that Leotis McKelvin?
And Roscoe
Parrish. Those are come less and less.
I don't think there's an individual responsible for this play. Do you understand? Like, I don't think it's like, oh, darn it, Leotis, or darn it, Leotis again.
It's darn it, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
he made a hell of a play.
It's darn it, the other team gets paid. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we all forget that, man, both teams get paid to play. And that's what I was saying. Like, after that, like, shortly after, I was like, sometimes if that was the Bills game, if the Bills made that play, we'd be going nuts.
But, if I'm confident if Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs stay in a Bills uniform for the next couple years,
We'll
the
see
Bills
something
are
like
going
that.
to see something like that as well.
I thought we did today. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I had people texting me, what a trade. I had someone text me something I didn't like. I'm too superstitious. I'm too superstitious for that.
I don't know, man. I don't think any of that's real.
It's all real. It's all real. I mean, I don't think it has an effect on you, but
It doesn't, because that probably would have happened either way. So I sent him a text message because I was looking through the score to see if anyone guessed it correctly.
Amy was 2 seconds away from winning the ball.
I think she was a point off by each team at that point. And I was like, damn, almost got him.
I thought she had it. It was 31-27.
Yeah, something like that.
No, she was a point off each way. Darn it. Amy, it was so close.
And then I was like, wow, that was pretty close. And then scored a touchdown. And I was thinking, if anyone ever guesses the score, but the teams are reversed, so if the Bills lose, but the score matches, you owe us a signed ball.
Yeah, you're ineligible forever. No, I'm kidding. Oh, man, I'm in a mood. I'm in a I don't know how I'm going to sleep. I hate 4 o'clock games. Let me go to bed.
4 o'clock games suck. Work's going to really suck.
Work's going to suck. I don't believe in Sunday scaries, but man.
When the Bills lose, they suck.
Oh, yeah, man.
Mondays suck when the Bills lose. Because it's just an extra thing. And sure, does it really affect me more than like 15 minutes? No. But it's like when the Bills win, I'm definitely a little excited. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But it's just another thing to weigh down a Monday.
Problem is, I love my job. And tomorrow, someone's going to mention the Bills game. And I work with a lot of people in the Weston, Miami area. And they're going to be like, oh, the Dolphins won. And I'm going to be like, oh, my God. Monday's going to suck so hard.
It'll be all right.
And they don't play for 2 weeks.
That sucks, too. Because, like, at least if they lost in this fashion, I'd be like,
hey, we'll go get them on Sunday.
Get them next week. But we'll get them in 2 weeks. But they got to get healthy. They'll come up with a game plan. The Buffalo Bills will be in the playoffs. They'll win the division. Hell is not freezing over.
Sky's not falling. We talked about the division at the top of the show.
It's all right. Just don't lose to the Patriots.
Jake, we doing this Wednesday?
We want to talk about. Leave a comment on what do you want us to talk about.
We'll talk about mid-season awards.
Fuck, it doesn't even have to be about the Bills. I don't care. We'll talk
about
anything.
mid-season awards on Wednesday.
And whatever you want us to talk
and we want to do
about.
this Sunday next week too.
Yeah, Sunday.
Let's try to map out the schedule.
Whatever you want us to fucking talk about. I don't want to talk about the Bills anymore. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the Bills. Please keep us on track.
What would you do if you were a king?
What a tough loss.
The Rolodex of Mad Men sports.
Man. I mean, I'm sorry. This is bad radio. I'm not gonna lie.
Radio silence.
We're just tough, man. This is tough. And also, well, I guess I'll talk about this real quick. When I'm listening to us back, a pause like this feels like forever for us, but it's like maybe we talk too fast.
Do we talk too fast? Let us know.
We'll talk about that next Sunday, guys. Do we talk too fast? No.
What do you fucking hate about us? I'll get fucking plastic surgery if you don't like my nose. No, I won't.
That's the show, guys.